that again. Sorry about that. Welcome to the event here. This is the Bookmap Academy coaching and mentoring review. This is part of the events that we have within Bookmap. We're going to try to do these bi-monthly and then get into maybe even daily or weekly or daily. All of these events that we have on Discord and YouTube are free. We have several streamers. We have several traders. So you can attend those. But this academy is something more. This is giving you insight or direction into a path to take this a lot further so that you can start to journalize your trades, start to understand order flow at a much, much higher level. And by doing this activity here and creating imagery or short videos, then you're going to become a better trader. And we will recognize you for that as well. We're going to give you access to Bookmap free as part of the program, but you have to earn it. You have to go through part of the process in here and make a quota or make excellent there's a quantitative and a qualitative threshold that you have to meet. So let me introduce the program to you. It's at bookmap.com/academy. Let's just go through it here and just give a quick overview of what this is about, and then so we can jump into Market Pulse and also the coaching and mentoring of some of the imagery. All right, so anyway, what is the Bookmap Academy? All right, so it is to elevate your trading here and allow you a path to become a much better trader. Who can join? It's free. It's open to all. So first step here is to apply for the Bookmap Junior Academy. You'll go through the process here. You'll scroll down to the bottom of the page and apply down here. Okay, then you'll go into Discord. We need to capture your email here, and then we need to capture your Discord name in Discord because that's where all the events take place. So the steps in here, once you apply for the Academy, you start creating content. We give you a spreadsheet to create that content, and you'll start documenting your trades, and you'll see what that looks like in just a minute. And then if you make quality content and materials here, then you will be invited to the Bookmap Junior Academy. That's when you start to need to make the quota. It's one image per day. We're not asking for much. One image per day, but it has to be consistent, and we're looking for really high quality content, and we're going to show you examples of some of that today. All right, so if you can make that quota, you can be invited to the Bookmap Academy here. That's step 2. All right, now before we get into step 2 and what you get, let's get into step 1 in Bookmap Junior Academy and what you get. Well, first you're going to be learning how to document your trades and journalizing it, and you're going to meet other like-minded traders, and you're going to get coached in here also by some of the Bookmap Academy members. Then you also get access to new products and add-ons, and we're going to give you access today for all the Bookmap applicants and all the Bookmap programs. Bookmap Academy programs will get access to Market Pulse, right, free of charge, and it'll be for a limited time, but we have a lot of new algos in there, and we want to give them to you and see if you can create an edge. Try to build an edge with these new tools. Now, that's what you're going to get from Bookmap Junior Academy and applying. If the content is good, then you can get Bookmap for free. Okay? If you double that quota, you can also get the MBO bundle for free. All right. Next step after that is becoming a Bookmap coach. You've created good content. You still create or meet those thresholds. Then you're going to turn around and come back in and start to help others. Give feedback in the Junior Academy and the applicants. And if you do well as a coach, you can become a Bookmap streamer. Okay? There's other incentives that you're going to get. You're going to get free market data here as a coach. You'll also get all of those things as a streamer, plus additional incentives. All right, so here's where you apply. Please apply. Here's FAQs. see if this is something that works for you. At least you're going to get free access to the market pulse for this time. All right, so that's the introduction here. Then we'll go through market pulse, and then we'll jump into the feedback. I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so I want to go through this market pulse tool that we're giving you free access to so that you can get up and running. Now, we provided you already access if you're part of the Academy programs. Now, let me show you how to get it. All right, so I'm going to open up Bookmap, and I'm doing this before going through the coach's notes and mentoring because we still have the market open here until 5 p.m. here, so East Coast time. All right, so let's open up Bookmap, and let me provide you the links as well to the market pulse tools. Okay, so because you will need that. Hold on a minute. I'm going to put that into the chat. I'm going to put it over in the Academy applicants chat room. There you go. All right. So here it is over here. And then these are the download links. It's in the Bookmap Academy chat room here. All right. And these are the steps you'll need to go through. So you'll need to download and install the market pulse indicator. Now, actually, before you do that, you need to make sure that you have version 7.4 build 12 or greater. Just upgrade, or to build 20 is the latest one right now. Okay, click on this to download market pulse, and then also you're going to need to download and install the absorption indicator and the sweeps indicator. Now, you will need to have Bookmap Global Plus in order to get these two indicators. All right, so but I want to show you these as well. All right, so now once you've downloaded those, let me just stop showing stops and icebergs. Then you need to go here to configure add-ons. Click on that, and the first thing you need to do actually is I have market pulse and sweeps and absorption already listed here. I need to remove them. Okay, I need to remove all of them because I just downloaded the new versions. Okay, now after you remove them, click on Add. Okay, and then here are my downloads here. Here's Market Pulse. I'll add it. Okay, let's add another one. Here's the sweeps indicator. Let's add that. And then one more. We'll add the absorption indicator. Okay, there we go. We've got them all added. And then let's go through. Now I'm not going to, I just want to go through how to connect. We're not going to go through in detail all of these different add-ons. Come to the webinar on Friday, as well as additional resources that we have to give you more insights about what these tools are, how to read them, and how to use them for your trading. All right, so once you've done that, click on Create. We'll just go through briefly here. This is for the ES, and then click on this link here, and this is what you should see now as a download, or from those downloads. You should have access to all of these add-ons in here. These are all algos. You have the absorption pressure imbalance, liquidation pressure. This is for crypto. You have price change, spread change, support and resistance. This is a new one. Support and resistance imbalance. That's a new one. Sweeps pressure and sweeps pressure imbalance. These are all new. The older ones that we had initially, volume pressure and volume pressure imbalance, you will get access to all of these. Okay, so you'll just need to sign up for the program. Then you'll click on the download, or I'm sorry, on the instruments here, and then you can add your instrument. Okay, and then click on the show the widget tool, and it will load it. Right, so that's that. That's how to add it, and I just wanted to cover that with you. All right, let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so we're going to go through Rubicon Trader, and at this point, we're going to turn it over to the coaches. So we have two coaches today. One is Stan. You guys probably know him from the Bookmap Discord channel. He's been doing just excellent work over there. He's also a moderator. And let's flip on the mic for Stan and let him take it away.
So, hello everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes.
So amazing. So sorry for my English. I'm a French speaker. I'm from Belgium. So I will do just a quick recap of my trading journey. So yeah, I first became interested in trading when Bitcoin hits for the first time 20K. Then I moved into crypto mining, and I've done like several courses. Then now I'm doing like a degree in finance at the moment. And I've been using Bookmap for just under than a year. So yeah, Bookmap just changed completely my vision of trading. So yeah, I find it's very powerful to be able to see the market in detail. And so yeah, I start by taking almost all the courses offered by Bookmap. I find this an incredible chance that you give to us actually. And today I'm lucky enough to be able to be part of the Bookmap team as a moderator, as you said, and as a member of the Bookmap Academy. I mainly use order flow and so on ES, 6E or addon for people who are watching my reviews.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, if you guys aren't familiar, just you'll see Stan over in our Discord channel. He's always posting his imagery. For example, over here in the all markets room, you can see some of Stan's in here. It's really excellent stuff. So I highly recommend that you check it out and learn from him. And Stan, at this point, it's time for them to learn from you as well. And you can go over Rubicon Traders, start with Rubicon Traders imagery here, and give some feedback.
Yeah, amazing. So So that's really great, actually. What you're doing, really, the confluences, and I guess it's a Trader Lab setup that you are using. But I was thinking maybe to highlight more the order flow, like as here, I think that's the only one where you highlight the microstructure, and to see more in detail when you have confidence to enter in the trade. What's very powerful with Bookmap actually. So yeah, I guess you have your setup with so you learn it with Tombi, but you can really improve it by highlight your order flow and why you enter at this time actually. Like here we can see the microstructure. We can see that you are entering now here. So yeah, you took a short, then you close it, and you took another one. So from my side, that's really great, actually.
Here, let me try to blow this up a little bit more for you, Stan. Yeah. I think this might be better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. And so yeah, just to highlight more the order flow. Then I think it's a little bit missing in your work, but the confluences and all your stuff is great actually. But that's the only thing that I would say. It's
Yeah. I agree. Like noticing high liquidity here, up here on the market, putting a lid on the market, and then exactly like understanding the cell structure and this is what what you're talking about here, here's his trade. Here's his sell right here. This is when he entered. And then you can see his first scale out here. And then you can, or I'm sorry, he scaled out here and then he got back in here, right? So there's quite a bit going on here in this image. And I actually had quite a few questions for Rubicon Trader. I don't know if we want to turn the mic on. I don't know if he's in here. If you are, raise your hand. You should have the ability in raise your hand, and then we can go if you you know want to mention anything in here. See, okay, yeah, it looks like he's not present. That's okay. So Stan, like, what do you? I had questions about this as well. Like, this cell structure is what you're keen on.
Yeah,
But this
exactly.
is where he, from this point here though, like you can see his trade management. And just any kind of comments you have on maybe going over some of the trade management in here and what you like or don't like.
Yeah, so but I find really great on his scaling, but I don't know how many contracts he was with. Yeah, but the thing on his trading his stop is very great. He will take his profits, and but I don't know his like risk ratio, for example, or anything about it. But still, it's yeah, that's a great thing to scale. Like
Yeah,
you can see the first one, like so. Yeah, he entered short firstly, I think. So he closed when we broke the structure. Then he took another short.
yeah,
Yeah,
right here.
and then yeah, he scaled front of liquidity. That's perfect, actually. And
Yeah,
then yeah, he took all the move to the downside to
yeah,
close all the trades at yeah, completely at the bottom. So first scale, yeah, front of VPOC, that's great, obstacle, and then yeah, took stop after the trading. Yeah, that's really great.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Let's see. Dan is telling me that Rubicon Trader is in. If you'd like to, if you are in and you want to mention anything in here about, we have some questions about your scaling, your sizing, your risk management. Because I can speculate on it and give a little bit of feedback in here, but because I'm really curious on the size here that you have. I know that you scaled out here, and then here, then you move your stop down in here. So, yeah, and like Stan had mentioned, this is fantastic to scale out right and before the high liquidity in here. So okay, so you're driving right now. You entered with 2 lots, really? Okay, so you scaled out one, and then you still had another one on. And then you scaled in here. Okay, so there's 1, 2, yeah, 3 and 4. Okay, so that makes sense. My only yeah, I've got a few questions in here about it, like the scaling, or also like taking one off here. Now it looked in hindsight, this is a good decision, uh, but I would like to know kind of more about why, because it looks like you could have gotten more out of it. Now it came right against you in here, and this would have been at you know would have been at a small loss in here, but your stop was up here anyway. It never would have been triggered, so you were safe. And then you actually added more risk in here, so this would have been probably a small loss up in these areas in here, or it would be going against you at that point. And then you're in profit here, even if it comes back at this point, most likely. Yeah, for sure, be in profit. And yeah, the scaling out is great here. Here, I guess it's more about you're in front of the POC. and then the trail stop here just below POC as is moving down. So that makes good sense in here as well. So some real nice clarity on that. The only Stan and I were talking earlier about it was that potentially maybe taking off some a little early, and I don't know if you have too much risk on for yourself or you were comfortable with that risk. It's just something to consider. That wasn't quite too sure if you're getting out a little too early, but that was the only kind of a comment. Let's move on to the next one, and because we got another one, we've got plenty to go through here. Okay, and Stan?
Yeah. So yeah, and exactly the same. So we can see like the same. That's trade lab structure. So we can see buying stop divergence. Then you are entering short. But I would maybe recommend to highlight more again the order flow. Like, why did you take there the short? Why you enter here actually? What make you confident to enter there? And I think it's why Bookmap is very powerful, is by highlighting those entry and yeah, what build your edge actually.
Yeah.
Like for example, yeah, the microstructure that we could see in the previous slides is quite missing at this time. And why did you enter there? Is it because we can see sellers' conviction, or is it because we break structure, or is it just because you saw stop divergence?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So like so you're marking up these things in here, but what about what's happening in some of the order flow in here? Like maybe the previous one, and trying to understand kind of more details why you're getting involved. All right. So was there anything else on this one, Stan, that you wanted to go through?
But after no, like he's doing a great job. I just thinking like if he's highlighting like all the flow, that will be better.
Yeah.
Like he can maybe build more confidence for his setup.
Yeah. And then Stan, this was Rob's. If you wanted to comment on this.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were looking for at Slowdown Springs in this case, but like as we discussed earlier, like I guess you were trying the breakout, and actually that's really good. That's exactly what I'm going through. Yeah, you took a small drawdown, but still you scale at front of liquidity, and you took a good profit. That's a good one. But I think just you should take one setup and work with it. Don't change too much.
Yeah.
I've been watching your video, your recap, and just keep one setup and try to build confidence with it.
Yeah. I think it's a really good point you're bringing up, Stan. Like the this one is so clean and clear. Well, it's pretty minimal. There's a lot missing. Um, but your comment is to focus on something in particular.
Yeah, like for example, in this case, I would maybe recommend to have a better skew in the book at the moment that buyers break the structure actually. So that might be your edge if you can see and there is a liquidity adding on the bid that can, you can see it as a defense actually, or a buying pressure, and what is quite missing when you are entering in.
So Stan, you're talking about this buying pressure here?
Exactly, yeah. like if we can have liquidity adding when they are breaking, that's a great signal for me. Like we can see the example with Steven after.
Okay, so
But yeah,
you mean like high liquidity, like underneath?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It really is pretty dark there, and it allows like this kind of back and forth, and you can see even you have it pretty stark, Rob, with the heat map, but there are traces in here, and that's exactly where it went. And nice take profits though.
Yeah, that was a good trade.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a nice commentary on that. About focus, I think. The the I would just like to add a couple of comments about just like you're mentioning, Stan. Like this is good with focus, but more on the order flow. In understanding like what you're looking for, exactly what you're looking for, Stan. You know that you're looking for this high liquidity under here. You know that the buyers are starting to come in. You know there's high liquidity up here, but are they pulling? No. And then if they are, then this thing should work at this point here, and instead of doing that. And then also maybe some details down in here, like they pulled that liquidity, but when do those buyers start to come in? This is what Slowdown is looking for. Those buyers start to come in back up above that selling. So yeah, that's I just had some additional comments. All right, let's go to Stephen. You take it away. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, for Steven, but as I already told him actually on All Market Bros. So yeah, as I was saying just before for Rob, if you have so if they are adding liquidity on the bids while in this example, when buyer breaking structure, that will make a higher probability to have the price, even if in this case it was quite yeah, that was amazing. But as we can see in the first microstructure, there is no liquidity when they broke, and in the second too. But there is another work that he does where we can really see this, and it's why I find very good, like the improvement that he does in the time.
Yeah. So you're talking about these two areas here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one that I highlight.
Yeah. Yeah. So
The pull liquidity. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I totally agree, Stan. Like Stephen, you've really made you know some big strides in improvement in what you're seeing and clarifying in here. And hopefully it's really helping. And I think Stan's giving really good feedback, looking for, is there liquidity on the bid in some of these areas to help. Okay, but nice seeing the trap traders and seeing it, on the. Let's see here, got the image in full. Hold on, just do this. Yeah, so seeing the trap traders in the delta down here, and then the pull away from that, really great. I had an additional comment on here about the zoom out view. I love this. I love that you're looking at these higher time frames, and then you're zooming in because you got a double bottom here. You got an uptrend here, right? And you're looking very closely at these areas in here now, and you're looking at order flow to give you insight to this move. So it's great. It's great. Really commend you on the improvements there. Stan, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. And here we can really see when bias break structure, like the liquidity on the bids was really helping the price to go higher.
Which areas are you talking about?
So yeah, I put a range rectangle, and then I put
Right.
a break with conviction,
Okay.
and we can really see that at the moment that then buyers are making pressure, the liquidity as being added, and then we have the move like into liquidity on the top.
So this liquidity in here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's exactly what I'm going through actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. I mean, like, and you see, it just went from liquidity, skew in the order book, back to liquidity.
Yeah. 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 And we can see the bias conviction, and yeah. For me, that's a perfect setup.
Yeah. Maybe describe maybe a little bit more about buyer's conviction.
So yeah, we have our structure, and then we can see like so the green dots like just making bigger and bigger, and they are breaking structure. So for me, it's like buyer are trying to lifting the price, and we can see like the pressure with the liquidity. So yeah, and that's my edge. That's the liquidity that's being added, and I see it really like pressure and the bubble actually, the size of the bubble and the volume when we break the structure can give a very good insight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's I know through your images that you're exactly looking at this, like this orange rectangle here is what you're commenting on, and then you're looking for this edge,
Exactly.
and then you're looking for that. What you mean by conviction is buyers starting to come in here.
Yeah, and leave the price and the size of the dots are becoming bigger, so we can see like there is conviction to go higher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's great. I mean, like I totally agree. I mean, like being able to understand order flow at some of these key areas in here, breaking the structure on the bid, and then starting to see buyers in here, uh, looking for targeting high liquidity up in these areas up in here.
Yeah.
And then you get a retest off of it again. It goes a little bit lower, but there's still more buyers in here, and there's even another one in here, right? So this kind of back and forth, more buying conviction in here. We just don't have much on the
Exactly.
bid. So
Yeah, but this one I find it perfect.
yeah. Yeah, nice. Let's see, I think we got one more. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, here I just highlight like the structure that I was seeing actually, and yeah, as we can see like yeah, there is no liquidity adding on the bid at this time, and yeah, so it can work, but you will have just more probability if you have this queue in the book.
So you're
That's
talking about this
so
area in here.
yeah, exactly, the blue rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we can see even at the first micro consolidation, then yeah, we haven't too liquidity on the bid. For the
So
first one on the left.
this is something that it would, I understand what you're saying in the feedback here. Like if you have liquidity in here and they're starting to pull some in here, but we know there's buyers as well.
Yeah.
So that's when it's higher probability that this is going to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How do you handle it like when you don't have this here?
Hmm. I try to not take it. It's not my. It shouldn't be my setup.
Yeah.
Just that, yeah. I have my checklist, and I need to have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking at it. That's my edge, actually. I need to see this liquidity to come and support.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a really good point. So Stephen, I hope that was helpful. Stephen, I don't know if you have any comments, if you want to mention anything. We can get, I think you're in here. Get you on the mic. Let's see. Not. Okay. Well, then let's move on. And oh, you are. Okay. Did you have any questions or comments, Stephen? Let's see, I think.
Yeah,
And,
I think it's in now.
okay, there he is. Okay. So, yeah, mic should be on for you, Stephen.
Yeah, I think too.
Okay. Says you're speaking, but I can't hear you. Yeah, I mean, it's free. I see it's open on our side. All right. Yeah, I can't hear you. All right. Well, Stephen, let's see if you get access in here. You should. Yeah, you're having issues. Okay. All right. Well, we'll actually in the future, what we'll do is like we'll ping you beforehand. Like we're going to cover some of your things, or and for everybody that's in here now, we can't go through everybody's documentation, but we want to highlight certain things in here, just like Stan was going through. And then now let's move on though to the next one, which is Slowdown, who put together a presentation, and he really high quality presentation here. I'm going to put the link into the chat for you guys as well, so you can just check this out directly. This is a real gem here. So thank you so much, Slowdown. This is really something something special. So let me I can put it in YouTube as well for those that are interested. Okay, there it is. So all right, tons to learn from here. All right, and like I want to spend a little bit of time on this just because I think, well, Slowdown has been creating some really excellent content, and as you guys know, so he even goes through the process that he's and how he's learned and how he has become a much better trader. Yeah, he began. I'll start kind of paraphrasing in here. Began narration and documentation process during the February Blue Jacket competition. So that's what kicked it off for him, and started to document his trades. And then he became part of the academy as well. It was some takeaways here, key takeaways that he wanted to kind of share. So number one, and this is one of the kind of hallmarks of the academy: create something worthy of your own personal review. Right? This is really important. You're not doing this for us, okay? You're doing this for yourself. Use this academy as an opportunity to become a much better trader. And that's exactly what Slowdown has done, right? Do make quality annotations, and you will become better over time. Review your own work to get additional insights and find inconsistencies, and organize your work in a way that makes the review sustainable for yourself. Okay, so you can go back and take a look at it again and again and again. This is a really big point here. I can't tell you how important it is. If you can spend quality time on your content like he does, well, we're going to show an example here in just a minute. Right here, his progression that he has down here, always getting better. Right. So anyway, these are just some tips to begin with here. Simplify to focus on only the key elements. So, being very intentional here and simplifying your trading or your documentation. What is it that you're looking for? What's important? And this is exactly what Stan was just mentioning with Stephen, and we're talking about with Stephen, that he's gotten so much better. And I can't wait to hear Stephen maybe talk about this process, okay? Because he's put in a ton of effort. And it has been from kind of chaotic to a lot more clear now. Yeah, remove the unnecessary notes. So boil it down. Know what you're looking at. We're going to go through the process down here, and it's going to be a lot clearer. Also putting efforts into the aesthetics of it, okay? Making it clear for yourself graphically. So find some software that can help you out. And then this is, I got these points are so good. It does not matter what others do. Okay, learn from others, but you got to make it for yourself. You got to make it your own. You've got to own it. This is a really big point, because you'll start to build confidence here, and it will lead you to the path that you want to go as a profitable trader. Okay. So yeah, you'll find something in here. We'll go through this in just a second. And just remember why you're doing this. Okay. So in the Bookmap Academy, getting Bookmap for free is great, but becoming a better trader is the greater goal and the greater reward. Okay. Is the true goal here. Once you're going to accomplish that, it's a different game. Okay. So let's take a look at his process in here. Guys, you have the link in here. Please go check this out. It's really valuable stuff. This is his. Look at the progression here. This is in May. All right. This is what his images look like in May. Now it's good. He's starting to identify many different elements in here, and this is the first step. Really, is you have to identify these elements. This is what Stan was just talking about. Okay, so once you can start to identify these elements here, then you can move on and start to hone that process. Okay, so anyway, let's, yeah, you can see though, it's difficult to, review and understand, but he wants to get repeatable information from this. Okay, so he's moved on here into this one, and you can see less is more here. He's starting to identify and focus on the key elements that are helping him, because he's going back and reviewing and editing. He's not just identifying, he's going back and filtering out, which is making a huge difference here already. Okay, trending lower. NQ's making new lows. He's using correlation tracker here, right? Starting to understand what's happening with the ES. And then, he's still identifying some of these other things in here with volume profile, liquidity, high liquidity, absorption areas in here. So, starting to really hone things down a lot more, right? And then, going through this process, okay, yeah, you can see, starting to simplify in here. The next one that he gets into is the ones that we are now very familiar with, but going through identifying, honing, and then making this his own. Okay, he eventually found repeatable patterns of behavior that interest him. Okay, that's what's really important here. And then look at this. Okay, beautiful, beautiful stuff in here. He started to look at and poke around with other and learning from other traders. In this case, Wyckoff, who many traders deeply respect and have learned a tremendous amount from. And he's looking at, in specific, a Wyckoff spring, okay, from a range, and then looking for these moves to unfold in up to the top of the range and continue, right? So look at the distinctions and the differences in here. Okay, what he's identifying. Okay, here's the open. Here's the range he's looking at. Here's the dip below here. Okay, stops being triggered in here. Okay, significant stops. Look at the context in here. Significant stops below this range. Buyers start to come back in here. This is where he's entering. Okay, now you don't get everyone right, all of these right, but this is his setup. This is going through that process of identifying elements on the chart into boiling it down, and then getting into his way of trading. This allowed him to get to his way of trading, and he takes his first profit here, top of the range. He's looking for a continuation here and targeting other areas up in here due to maybe certain levels he's looking at on higher time frames. All right, so that's his process, and the evolution in here is undeniable. Okay, so really nice 3 images in here with timestamps on them from May, July to October, and he's improved incredibly as a trader. Right, so anyway, so he's given some reviews here of some of the traders' content, and we reviewed also didn't matter, or doesn't matter, or whatever it is here, and he went through and gave a lot of notes in here, as you can see. So some really nice feedback in here. He mentions in here about these are his insights here. And these are points of discussion in his feedback. Basically, it's feedback. It's up to you as the trader to kind of, does this have value or not? You'll need to kind of evaluate it for yourself. Basically, just saying, take this as a grain of salt. However, that's what he's mentioning. All right, and I think that's noteworthy. So let's start to go through this in here. All right, so just some really nice documentation here. Both sides. Didn't matter it really is some really nice imagery in here. He's looking at some things very specific, and look at this, is beautiful. Large absorption or lots of liquidity here on the offer. And the move up into it, trading up into these areas of high liquidity in here. Let's take a look at his number 2 over here, which says liquidity. Note the pulling of liquidity, 337 contracts. And then there's a couple areas of number 2 here, so down in here as well. But look at this. This is what I think is very noteworthy in this documentation here. Is these areas in here are key levels. They become key levels because there's key interest in here, and it's right here in the heat map. Okay, you can also see a flip in the order book here. There's a lot going on at these levels, but you'll note how these levels will become important later in the day as well, okay, or maybe the next day. It doesn't really matter. And you can see that this one down here became a battleground too. Into high liquidity in here, back and forth. Here's where the buyers start to take control of it and start to move it higher here. Okay. Yeah, a good point here. I skipped over number one, the higher time frame. Starting to look at these very specific areas in swings, and then get into the details in the order flow and Bookmap. Okay, so identifying these high areas of high liquidity. So really good stuff. Don't matter, or doesn't matter. God, I don't know. DNT matter, I should just say. Yeah, so let's see. That's 1, 2, and 3. Or number 3 is areas of interest. Yeah, just talked about that. Battlegrounds. Consider volume that fails to continue higher. Number 4. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, this is great. If they can't move the price higher on higher volume in here, and we know there's buyers up in here, this is telling us something. Okay, and then looking for those sellers to come in, looking for the move to the bottom of the range or this liquidity. And in this case, they took it even further down into these areas of liquidity. Okay. Noting icebergs increasing in size as well. Yeah, really good point. And let's see, where is number 5 up in here? Okay, kind of hard to see, but yeah, there's icebergs starting to increase up in this area. Okay, and then number 6, absorption. Let's see. Yeah, down in here. Okay, or through these areas and then absorption down here. Okay, so yeah, he's quite the expert with looking at some of these areas for his spring setup. So some really good feedback in here, but also just a note here, nicely done, DNT matter. I totally agree. Like this is really, you're on the path here. Like the clarity is coming in. You're noticing these things. You have the higher time frame, like Steven has as well, and very clearly identifying some of these elements in here. Okay, so finding the trade setup for yourself and honing that process, just like Slowdown does in example number 3 here that he put together. Okay, so Froth, he's got one for you as well, and let's take a look at this. Dan, let me know if anyone wants to get the mic and make any additional comments in here. Okay, again, we have passive sellers in here trading up into it and through it. Liquidity, good note that passive sellers above. Also noteworthy that liquidity supporting the bid is pushing it up. Really important point in here. This is number 1 right in here. I have a lot of comments on this actually. This kind of liquidity underneath, even Stan was talking about it, that's what he's looking for underneath here for the initial move to unfold. There's another element in here, is at the end of moves that you'll see a lot of very high liquidity come in the market that is trying to push the market higher. It pushes it into high liquidity up in here, and then these guys they actually transact here. A lot of times they pull though, and everything in here is just supported by this high liquidity, and then they're gone, and we can get a nice move to the downside. Okay, so in fact, this is turning into really kind of a battle zone in here, because they do get filled in here. So we get some back and forth in here. Okay, point number 3, yeah, the absorption down here. This is great, and this is right into your Slowdown's setup as well that he's looking for with that Wyckoff spring after. In this case, it would be this sideways consolidation structure, and then it's looking pretty bearish in here. So this is quite a trade in here. So in fact, you mentioned in here lack of aggressive buying. I totally agree. Like this buying in here is not enough. it's not looking good here. Sellers, this back and forth in here, I don't see much buying in here at all. And I don't see enough buying in here either to justify. And then up in here you do get it, but it's a little late now, right? And you're trading up into where these sellers initiated. So good job on that, Froth. I really like that. And then up in here, let's go through number 4. Yeah, retested that level again. Yeah, sellers coming back in. Number 5 in here. Yeah, liquidity is pulled right before the tumble, as you can see. It's kind of hard to say exactly what's happening in here, but we do have, yeah, it's hard to say what's happening in here, but you can see it. They are pulling across the board in here. Yeah, kind of tough to judge that one. Anyway, possible suggestion, if you're looking for volume bars, looking at the volume bars on your analysis, you may want to consider increasing the overall size of them, as it may provide you with an easier analysis. And at least for this screenshot here, there is some vacant real estate on your chart at the bottom. Okay, so he's talking about this down here. It's a really good comment because you can get a lot more out of that. You do have the volume bars down here, you can see, but anyway, lack of volume bars on the squeeze and the break here. Okay. All right, let's move on. Got one more to go through, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. We got one from John here. John is looking at the dome. Look at this. And he's also got market pulse in here. Look at this. He's got he's got 10 widgets up here. Looking at market pulse. John, mic's open if you want to join in. Some nice commentary in here. It's a real trade. That's one thing that Slowdown, why he chose this. And then, yeah, some more notes would be helpful in here. You know, 5 point. This is a quick 5-point trade that is over in 2 minutes, and you make it look easy. So you know, what is it that tuned you into this here? You see your entry down here, and we see your exit here. So it's a beautiful trade. But what was it here in the order flow that really helped you? Sellers could not take price lower. Okay, I mean, I just don't see much in the order book in here. I mean, we do have liquidity here, and we do have maybe a little bit on the bid in here. We don't have much from the aggressor. Okay, so just some more notation in here would be really nice to gain more insights. We do see the liquidity in here, like you note, that's for sure. And it is holding the trend. So you're looking at some of these things in here. There's just not much in the heat map. Yeah, I wonder why you got in here. I'm really kind of curious. The take profit makes total sense. You got a stop run up into high liquidity. That's just beautiful stuff there. It looks like it you know, in fact, to me, like this even looks like maybe the potentially another opportunity in here. Okay, because look at the bid underneath here. And then after this high liquidity, there's still more buying pressure. Great. This looks like it still wants to go higher. Yeah. And that's what Slowdown mentions here as well. Yeah, possible suggestion, more insight on entry, or zoom out a bit so we can see what's happening prior to your entry. Yeah, it's good commentary there. All right, so that's what we got here today, guys. Yeah, any questions? Anything that you guys want to go through in general? Do you have any questions about getting access to Market Pulse again, or we can provide those links for you again? If you're interested in this program, then you'll need to go to here. Let me show you again. Need to go to bookmap.com, and you need the link here. There's no other way to get there right now. is bookmap.com/academy. It should take you to this page here. And then you'll be in step 1 if you're new to this program. But even in step 1, we will give you access to all the Market Pulse add-ons free. Okay, so you need to have Bookmap. That's part of the process here. But how else are you going to make content about Bookmap if you don't have Bookmap, right? So, but you'll need to apply for the Academy. It's down here. Sign up here. We capture your email and then come into our Discord room and then provide your request the spreadsheet. Okay, in the applicants room. You'll see it in the email, follow-up email after you apply. You'll get it. And then you request your spreadsheet, and then you can start to provide more liquidity, start to provide your content, and then we can review it. Okay, let's see here. We got CMJ. CMJ, we went over you last time and gave you some feedback. In fact, I bumped you up to the oh God, I forget what I bumped you up to. What program did I give you? Are you part of the Bookmap Academy, or I think up to the Bookmap Academy level? I can't recall. I remember we spoke though. For the new absorption and sweeps indicator, are there any recommendation settings? You got to play around with it. I'm playing around with them as well. I have found that the default settings are pretty good just by looking at those. So that's a 5-minute training period with a 10-second half-life period. Yeah, in fact, I've been leaving it at that, and I've been either playing around with the thresholds, to be honest, but we did play around with the support and resistance one, looking at different. Let's see if I know the market's closed now, so we're not going to get anything. But the support and resistance one, this one here, playing around with opening 2 of these, and then having different settings. One for a higher order book, levels looking at, and then also one with a smaller, shorter order book. So small stack, large stack, and then looking for imbalances between the 2. Okay, so in that case, I did play around with it, with the settings instead of the thresholds. Yeah, lots of stuff to come on that, CMJ. There's a lot more to go through with some of those settings. And this is, yeah, something important I wanted to mention. Your content for next time, we want to go through more user scenarios with Market Pulse. Right, so just like what we saw in here from John, okay, all of these examples in here, like how is he using it? What is he gaining from it? How is he using it within the order flow in here, and gaining some additional insight? So yeah, we're going to go over that in next time in the trader review, how you're using this and gaining more insight. So please, try it out, see what works for you, and then let's cover it so we can help you, do even more with this tool. That's the goal, right? So because there's a lot of value here with this tool. The correlations is amazing in here. You can see what John has. He's looking at the S&P E-mini here, as you can see. But look what he's got open here. He's got gold, he's got crude, and now he's got volume pressure and imbalance for each one. He's got the RTY, okay, the Russell, he's got the NASDAQ, and he's got the ES here. Okay, and he's looking across all of these in here to gain additional insight for some of these moves in here. So, like for example, John, if the mic was open, like maybe your commentary would have been something like, I don't know what you were looking at in here. Maybe it was something from Market Pulse that gave you insight to this here. Okay, maybe it was correlations, and it's a really good one, because sometimes the ES will be rather quiet when you see the other ones. Correlated markets are really starting to ramp up in their volume. Okay, and the ES will, it just takes a little bit more time. All right, that's everything I got for you guys. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah, sign up for the program if you're interested, and we'll go through Market Pulse in the next trader review in more detail and have more user case scenarios for you. Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. And if we didn't go over your stuff, please keep going though. We will cover it. You know, when we have good content and something good to talk about, we will go over it in detail. Thanks, guys. Take care and have a good day.